Salima, everyone. Welcome to another Wednesday, very special Wednesday, our new moon special. According to Niki, the new moon is tomorrow. We're going to, it should be within a few hours, I would imagine. But I think what's happening is on my.
Is it tomorrow there already? Is that it? Is that how this works?
That's the thing. If it's like late tomorrow, then it's actually the next day for me. So that's, I think, why we get. It doesn't matter that much, you guys. It really doesn't matter. I wouldn't get too worried about it. But anyways, we're gonna talk about the new moon and what the month might hold, what it has in store for us today. So if this is your first time joining us, we do sidereal astrology. We use astronomy, you guys. We're looking at the actual sky. We don't know what those other people are saying because we can't watch them anymore. Well, I would imagine. I think, Niki, I think you have more stamina than me and you actually can go through. I don't know how you do it. I get so frustrated.
I don't know why I do it. I don't even know why. I think it's just because I want to see like what's the explanation of the energies this time? How are you spinning it so that you can make it work? And it's really God, it's like gaslighting at its finest. It's really crazy.
It certainly is, and it's been going on for quite some time.
Yes.
I'm writing this book, as you know, Niki. How to learn Sumerian or I'm pretty sure I've finished the title, but I'm going to hold off on telling you what it is. Not you, but just, generally, maybe mild superstition. I'm not sure. But anyways, I'm writing this and I keep coming across these things that I have been wanting for so very long to tell the world about. Things like the Sumerians did not believe that the earth was round, that the underworld, that there's no evidence. And I know we talk about this sometimes on the show, that there's no evidence that Inanna ever descends into the underworld, nor does anyone else. The words that they use are very specific, like they can, or they're not specific, but they're specifically not related to descent. They talk about like arising from, which I could, talk for hours about it. But,
but
the words that they use are not related to going down into something. And this is pervasive in Mesopotamia mythology, but particularly the Sumerian record, where they just infer all of these extra meanings that don't have, like, they don't say it. And then it just becomes, like the zeitgeist. And that's what everybody knows and thinks about it. But this has only been going on, at least as far as Sumerian literature and mythology and spirituality are concerned, only for the last like 150 years, because that's when we rediscovered all of their documents and when we started to translate everything. The tropical astrology hoax, or whatever you want to call it, fumble, what would this be? Disaster, like train wreck, tragedy, abomination, like whatever horrible words we could use for this. This has been going on for thousands of years, and it's about time that we correct course here and move forward.
Well, I mean, look at history and how we talk about it. I mean, it's kind of like a big game of telephone. It's always, you played telephone before. Yes. You can see how your own cultures and time and space is just pushing, like projecting their own shit into it. And then it just gets passed along. And we see that with the Greek stuff, the Greek astrology. I know you're not a huge fan, but I mean, I can see why, they were doing a lot of those things. And like the elemental system, like I don't use it, but I can see the dominating element that is assigned to each, zodiac sign. I look at the zodiac and one of my favorite astrologers is Dane Rudyard, and he wrote Pulse of Life. And if you ever get a chance to read it, you should. It's filled with a lot of cosmic poetry, guys. So he's not everybody's favorite. He doesn't always just flat out say it. But it's a beautiful book, and he talks about the zodiac as a cycle, because we are reading planetary cycles. Everything is a cycle within a cycle. So is the zodiac. And it can start literally anywhere, with any sign. And what drives me crazy is that tropical is like a whole almost 30 degrees off. So we're talking about the wrong hour, the wrong time. Like imagine showing up an hour late to every appointment, and your life is just chaotic.
Right?
And you're just saying but this is what they're telling me. This is how it's supposed to go. And you're trying to fit that energy into that little box, and it's just not working. Like a lot of people are waking up to that, and they contact us, and it's really awesome, because they ask questions like, why are we applying seasons then to the zodiac if tropical's a seasonal system and then we're an astronomical system? That's a little tricky for me to answer right there. Like, do we get rid of seasons completely? No.
You have to. No, you have to.
Well, seasons kind of mark parts of a cycle. We can't attach those seasons, though, to the zodiac, because the seasons are still going to happen.
Yeah, but
like them or not, but like the zodiac moves. Like
yes.
So
but seasonal associations shouldn't have any part of the meaning of the zodiac signs, because they are different. The hot, dry season in Mesopotamia 2,000, 3,000 years ago is completely different than the climate in Norway or something during that same time. So any of this, any of your seasonal associations have to, the least, take a backseat. Hey, everyone that's joining us. Hi, Ija Levy, Namira in the Netherlands. Hey, everybody. Hi, chat with
Lorna.
Mary, Mystic Lorna. Yeah.
Yes. I want to give you a shout out. I hope you're feeling better.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, jeez.
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, Niki.
No, I forgot what. Oh, yeah, seasons. So,
seasons.
Yeah, I've been thinking about it a lot, and I'm like, okay, well, it doesn't stop the seasons from happening. And sidereal, we don't attach the seasons to the zodiac, because like back when we, I don't know, I guess the Egyptians, they looked at the constellation Cancer. They saw like the scarab beetle, and that was when it was like the hottest months, when the sun peaked and slowed down for them. Like it's now, I think, when it does that for us, it's in Gemini.
Isn't it Leo?
Maybe it's Leo. I don't know. Okay. God, see, that's what makes it so like confusing for me. I'm like, I know seasons are part of a cycle.
Oh yeah, you're
stop
right.
The season.
You're
right. But when I try to apply it to the zodiac, like I just can't, because I know it changes. I know like in like 10,000 years it's going to be completely opposite. Like humanity is still here. Yeah,
we're doing a full seasonal loop every 26,000 years, which maybe doesn't, or it seems like a long time to us now, but in the grand scheme of human history, I mean, that's not really that long,
Yeah. Well, if you look at the zodiac as part of a cycle, like where you are in the cycle really matters. Like precision matters, and the whole argument with the modern astrology is that, it all blends together. It's all like kind of the same, so you're kind of getting the same thing. No, not really. Not really, because Uranus is still in the very beginning degrees of Taurus. It's not in Gemini. It's not. Tropical has this thing right now where all of the planets are moving into new constellations.
Hey, you were right, Niki, by the way. Gemini. Yes. It's moving that direction.
It is Gemini. Yeah.
The Egyptian, like the summertime, basically, when it's maxing out, is now in Gemini.
Yeah. But their interpretation of Cancer was still very similar to what we look at now, where it's like the container for the soul. Like when we look at Cancer, we look at, very internal processes. They're very like intimate feelings, things that you keep to yourself, things you keep hidden. You look at the zodiac as a cycle. And I was actually just writing about this. Well, I was trying to write about it because, oh my God, my writing, guys. It starts out with one thing, ends up totally something different. It's
normal.
It's normal.
I think that's the mark of a good writer. That means you got to go out.
I'll go off on a tangent. I'm like, okay, I got to save that, cut, paste something for some other paper, some other time.
Right. Yeah.
But I'm studying the cycle, and I'm looking at the cycle, and we have Gemini, where we gather all of these, experiences and information, and, we make choices, and all of these things happen. And in Cancer, we kind of internalize all of that. And we build our feelings and our self-image off of what happened in Gemini. That's how I kind of see it flowing. And there's just one way to look at it. There's probably many different ways to view how this cycle, works. But it's definitely, new moon in Cancer. That's really I don't know. It kind of seems like it's more of a quieter time than it was in Gemini. We had that new moon in Gemini, and it was square some of those bigger players like Saturn and Neptune. So, that last cycle, we felt the crunch, we felt the tension and the push to make some different choices. And now that we have this new moon in Cancer, we've had some time to internalize things. Well, we're going to, and we're receiving all outer planet aspects to it. So we got a nice, trine from the Saturn Neptune conjunction. The energies open up to, reevaluate our responsibilities, look at, the path, our spiritual path, and is it in alignment, with what, our soul is pushing us to do? Because let's face it, we all have that little, voice, that little squishy part of us inside of us that's like, your little compass, your little navigation tool that's like, I'll go this way, I'll go that way, like those intuitive nudges. And that's a lot to do with, I think, with Cancer, and a lot to do with this cycle, kind of rediscovering a lot of different things about ourselves and the path we want to take. I mean, I talk about this all the time, like making different choices. But, I was thinking about the elemental system too, and how we're always considering Cancer a water sign, Pisces a water sign, Scorpio a water sign, which I feel is the least watery of the water signs. But I think,
which one did you say is the least watery?
Scorpio.
Oh yeah. For sure.
Yeah. But I think it's given that classification watery because it's transformational. Like you leave that process completely transformed. It's emotional. It's something happens inside you. There's a lot of different changes. It's not always outside changes that influence you. Sometimes it's like, I don't want to be responsible for this anymore. I don't want this path, that I thought I wanted, and now I need to make some readjustments. I mean, there's a lot of that going. Sometimes you're stuck, on a path, and you're like, oh, wow, like this is going to be an 18-year long journey. You can't squeeze out of those. I mean, hopefully you don't want to. But no, I'm rambling. That last quarter moon, I thought was pretty intense. It was like a psychic detox. We had the moon conjunct Aries, and that brings up a lot of agitation, like emotional reveals. You really discover kind of not scary things, but there's this things that you're just like, I'm not willing to do this anymore. You gotta really look at the messy, yucky, gross stuff. I mean, it's
sometimes. Yeah.
I don't want to say that she's responsible for that stuff, Aries, but it does bring up a lot of, urges to just shake loose from all of the illusions, all of the bullshit. Like, where's the truth? Where is it? And it started there, and now we've got this new moon getting hit by everything. Where is my chart? I got, and it's making nice aspects to some of the outer planets, but it's in full opposition with Pluto. That's what I was gonna say. Oh, so that makes it intense. That makes
how tight? What's the orb on that?
Oh, I use 10-degree orbs with my stuff, so it's pretty accurate, I would say. It's not like it's pretty solid. I don't know. I'm not a numbers person, unfortunately.
Anybody out there watching, anybody have strong Cancer? You guys got any Cancer placements? We can take a look at them for you, see what we can come up with, brainstorm. I hear the birds chirping over there. Niki.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Actually, I turned that on for my cat, and he got upset.
Oh, it's not real?
It's not real. No, because it's going to thunderstorm, and I want to keep the windows open. Guys, Wisconsin is just, I've been being tested. Okay. I love nature. This is summertime. I want to get out. Every day I've had off, I've either had, I smashed my foot. I think I fractured something. So I'm still healing. it rains or we have wildfire smoke and I can't breathe, so you can't leave the house.
They're getting it in Michigan too.
Dude, there's always something. And I'm like, I just want to go outside. I just want to go to the beach so bad. So
yeah,
I don't know.
But maybe
so I fake it and I put that stuff on my TV and I like pretend. And
I have campfires and rivers and crickets and birds playing at all times every day.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, same. I love it. I absolutely love it. I'll put campfires on. Like, I loved the ocean waves. I would put on like the Pacific Ocean and just listen to that.
That's
I could hear
can't
like
have too much water. It makes me have to pee like all day.
Yeah, no, it just puts me in I noticed it puts me in like that headspace. Like,
you don't feel drained if you hear water too much. Like, even my gentle stream that I hear, it's very quiet. Like, the campfire's louder. Alice asked me yesterday, she's like, what would you rather hear, the fire or the water? And like, for sure, the fire. The fire's relaxing and calming and telling you like survival, everything's going to be okay. We can cook food. We can stay warm.
Yes.
The water sounds though, like it's a lot of work. Like if you're in the water all day, like you come out of the water exhausted. I don't know. And maybe that's why people listen to it when they go to sleep, because it kind of like saps you a little bit. But I mean, some people, they can do it. It sounds like you definitely can.
Yeah, I love to listen to the ocean because I can hear like music playing in there. And you guys, okay. I know you think it's crazy and it's weird, but like it's not. It's not.
I don't think so.
Like, this is how the sailors used to get, drawn into the ocean. Then I get it now, because I'd literally come running into. I'd pause the TV and I'm like, oh, the music stopped. It's in there. It's in the oceans. It sounds silly. I'll stop.
I don't think it sounds
I'm a little
silly
bit of a mystic. Yeah. But I can't listen
so.
to it too much. Otherwise it puts me in a weird headspace and I can't like
too watery starts to
I get
your
too psychic, too into it. And then I'm just like picking all this weird shit up, and it's not useful. It doesn't need to be, doesn't need to be explored.
Some grounding. Levy has Mars in Cancer on the descendant.
Nice.
Yeah, that's pretty intense. Definitely super intense. I wonder how far into Cancer it is, because that's depending on where at. It could be like really, really strong. I would say though. So I feel like we talk about this every single time we do a call.
Yeah. No, it's never. I never get sick of I never get sick of the myths around the constellations, especially the old ones. Oh,
I don't get sick of them either. I don't get sick of them.
I think it's amazing.
Sometimes you come across like a new translation, or like they integrate different pieces that you didn't see before, because the text gets mutilated and then you have to find translate another copy of it. Fortunately, they made copies of stuff. So like sometimes you hear things from slightly different ways, and it's always interesting. There's always more to learn. But anyways, this is our underworld placement. This is one of the gates to the underworld, and Mars, Nergal, was the god of the underworld. And they called him, the red and shining one. Like he was a just protector of the spirits of the dead. He also, they had demons and nasty stuff down there sometimes too, but he kept that stuff in check as well. So his placement, him being in Cancer, that is a phenomenal placement for him. That's like him right at home. Now I have no idea what that looks like if in classical or Vedic. It could be terrible, but I mean, I don't necessarily care. This is him. This is a nice balance between, or at least it should be, between the mind and the emotions. So Cancer on its own, at least in the Mesopotamian system, you got to factor this in, is very mental. It's very much about the self. It's the deep, dark place inside of you. It's your own personal underworld. Underworld is a poor translation. It should be Kur, which means mountains or foreign land. And it just talked about like another, basically a dimension of reality. But they did also call it the Great Place. And that kind of speaks to its significance on a spiritual level. So this, when you go down inside, you are reuniting with the cosmic source. And as with a Mars placement there, Mars can be really intense, really emotional. Him being in Cancer kind of, it stabilizes him quite a bit. Now, This can also, if you don't keep the mind under control, though, if you don't keep your demons under control, essentially, they can run wild, and you can become very anxious, overwhelmed with, just different anxieties and stuff. So, I mean, it can go either way, but it does support a lot of just general inner peace and well-being. But you have to be doing the inner work. You got to become the lord of your own underworld. If you're doing that, great. If not, it's going to suck. I will say, though, that right on the descendant, this is the descendant's going to be more of like the material world, the career placements, the community. That's kind of like where we, so to speak, cast off the mortal coil before going into the underworld again, not technically beneath the ground or anything. And that way it kind of speaks to your interactions with other people. Now, this is coming, your interactions are probably going to be more self-directed and oriented. I'm not saying that you don't have, because I don't know where your chart looks, so I don't know if you have other stuff in there balancing this out, making you more social than if I, like, this is all the information I have about you. But it can make you more guarded. You're going to guard those emotions a lot more. You're not going to be as forthcoming with, just your, the touchy-feely stuff. It's going to be a little bit more protected. You're going to be in that operating from your own personal place. Now, I will say, from a career standpoint, entrepreneurial work definitely would be the way to go. And again, if I know nothing else about you, because I only have this one placement, but they're under descendant, I think it's sometimes Mars on the horizon can be way too emotional, but I think you lucked out having it be in Cancer. Like I said, I think it puts I don't know, it kind of holds it back a little bit, gives it a little bit more control.
I'm kind of curious if you find a lot of emotional security, like you put a lot of that on your relationships. I'm almost wondering if you don't, if it gives you more independence within your relationships, or if it's something that, drives you to be more clingy and insecure. I'm kind of wondering, like, how that shows up for you.
Yeah, let us know.
Oh, it's anxiety. Sometimes they said anxiety, sometimes emotionally response. Oh yeah. I have my Mars and Aries, and it's like Aries Pisces. So yeah, it can get a little.
So that means you're just, your Mars is exploding with emotion most at, like supernova apparently, or
and if you've ever been on our Sunday calls, Sunday calls, you get a whole different Niki that is very raw.
You get the Mars and Aries Niki.
Unfortunately,
it's not unfortunate whatsoever. It's great.
Okay. I always get off the call and I'm like, I wonder if I embarrassed myself this time again.
That's what that call is for, which, by the way, guys, I don't have it like plastered all over anymore. It might be in the video description still. You can jump on our Sunday meditation support group calls. We do not meditate on the call. It's more support group, but we do talk about meditation. We talk about astrology. We talk about all kinds of stuff. But if you guys want to jump on, if the link isn't, immediately obvious, let me know and I'll set you up with it. Ija Levy says, not many relationships at the moment, but close with family and some friends. Where's your Venus? I'd be interested to see.
So yeah, very protective about who you're in relationships.
Yep. You're not just giving it out to anybody.
No, but you probably take very good care of the family that you are like connected to. You probably make sacrifices for them you wouldn't normally make for strangers or other people. Some people are like more humanitarians, like, oh, I'll do anything for anybody. You got good boundaries, I bet. I'm just curious.
Better boundaries, probably.
Better, yeah.
Well, and again, we only can go with
go off of what's there. Yeah.
So it could be counteracted somewhere.
Where is Cancer in your chart? Like, what is that for you? Yeah, like,
or what do I have in Cancer?
Do you have anything in Cancer? I think
I don't know.
Is it your North Node in Cancer?
Don't know, Niki.
I think it is.
I can't keep my own chart straight between everybody else's. Like, I look at too many and then they burn into my memory and I just don't know.
Yeah, there's been plenty of times I'm like, this is what I saw in that chart. And then I go and look at their chart and I'm like, that's not their chart. That's not what was there at all. Actually.
I'll look real quick. I'm actually curious. Let me see. Hold on. Hopefully I won't crash my stuff. If I disappear, just take over for a second.
Yeah, I'll tell
what's my name? Abby. Right. That's the kind of day we're having.
I know.
Yep.
That Saturn Neptune stuff, I swear, like, I'm like, what reality am I in? What happened? Like, I don't know. I really feel like that's been
Yeah, Nikki, I
up.
got my North Node in Cancer. I got my series right on the cusp between Cancer and Gemini. But my North Node's like smack right in the middle of Cancer. How would you interpret that? Let's have it.
Well, it's about, like, I think, like letting go of control and kind of trusting others. And when it comes to Cancer, it's about family and tradition. So you're laughing. Well, you got some pretty hardcore placements that say, hey, I'm in charge. I know what I'm doing, and I can handle all of this on my own.
That is true.
And you can carry the load, and it can get very, very heavy.
I'm carrying less every day, which I enjoy, and I'm getting better at I've been working at least for a year solid, relinquishing control. And it is serving me now. It is definitely, but it was not easy.
That is hard. That is hard. I feel like the Cancer Capricorn axis is very hard to navigate, because you come from this, past pattern of already being independent, already knowing how to do all of this stuff. And then when you have to, apply it to the relationship with others, then there comes like this trust. Like, do you really know what you're doing? Because I know what I'm doing. It's weird, but it does. It comes about, reevaluating, like putting roots down, and you've completely like recalibrated your entire life. I mean, we're always reinventing ourselves, right? I mean, we talk about like being the people that we are, but are you the same person you were last year? Are you the same person?
I'm not the same person I was 5 minutes ago. So
exactly. So transformation is always like happening. It's always like right there. We can always choose to be different. It's hard when you're, stuck in like things like addiction and, things that grip you, maybe you're, addicted to bad food. Maybe you're addicted to a terrible relationship. Maybe you're just addicted to getting attention, and you need it. There's all these things we can become attached to and addicted to.
I was for sure addicted to productivity. Was a serious problem.
I think I have that problem. I always have to be busy. I can never not be busy. I'm always like having to do something. But this last few weeks, I've just been like, and I've been sleeping a lot. I've just been.
Oh, good.
I'm like, are these depression naps? What the?
No, you're.
How resting. Is this?
Probably natural.
Yeah, it feels great. I was like, wow. Every time I get up, I'm like, I feel awesome.
Listen, if you take us out of the modern setting. Even like pre-agrarian, you put us back into like a hunter-gatherer situation. We as females in particular, we're going to be making some food. We're going to be sitting around talking to each other. We have a huge support group. We know everybody. We're raising each other's kids. In some cases, like literally breastfeeding the other kids and stuff. And then we're going to sleep when it's time to sleep. And we're going to, a couple times a day, we're going to make some food. That's literally what we were designed to do. We were not designed to, and I'm not talking about females, like men too. Like arguably males of the human species are designed to do even less work throughout the day and just have all of that work take place in like short bursts of extreme activity. And we see this again, like it happens in every hunter-gatherer society that, is still around that we can observe. So like nothing about our current life, like, hey, wake up at 6 a.m., go jogging, now go to work and work, I don't know how many hours do people work at like offices, and then drive home, sit in traffic, listen to the news, like cuss people out, like that are cutting you off. Now go home, now eat your processed food, now like go to sleep and just be, miserable. Like that's nothing about that situation is okay. Yeah. And I really think it's incumbent upon all of us as individuals to try to break out of that cycle as much as possible. Obviously, there's like bills to pay and whatnot, and we have to kind of work with the system that we have. But you know, like the more you pull away from that, even if it's just little things you can do, like putting on nature sounds in the background, right? Like trying to emulate that natural environment, the better things will start to get around you, and it gets easier to break free of those addictions and to start like getting into a more spiritual space. And like really, it snowballs. You start to realize how entrenched you are in the bullshit, and it allows you to pull out. Aja Levy says Venus exactly conjunct North Node in Libra, conjunct Zubeneganabi. Okay, well, I know the Sumerian names and the Babylonian names, so I'm not sure which one. With Jupiter a few degrees later, Sun in late Virgo, Libra in Vedic Sidereal. So probably, you know what, I'd read that if I had to, you know, meld it all together. Probably a little closed off, probably too closed off. Your Venus on the North Node, I'm going to tell you that is telling you like emotional, like opening yourself up on a heart level is what you came here to learn to do. And usually the stuff we came here to learn is harder for us, in which case, you know, like you're going to have to do a lot of the inner work that we were talking about and really kind of allow yourself to connect with people on that deeper heart level. So
yeah, I'm wondering how you're feeling that right now, because Venus is square the lunar nodes. There's a lot of tension around relationships and values and like what we value and how we go around, like, you know, putting our love on things and deciding what's worth, you know, our time, what isn't worth our energy. So now that we have that aspect happening, I'm kind of wondering how it's showing up for you.
Yeah, it is interesting.
Yeah, it is. And it was square the nodes last week, but we did have that North Node move into Aquarius. So, you know, we know that really kind of shifts our views from, you know, in Pisces, where it's more spirituality and you know, transformation and those sorts of things. It gets more humanitarian. It gets more about like the bigger picture kind of things, instead of, you know, what's good for just me. You know, I hate to use the South Node and say those are all just things we have to let go. Because the South Node is like your little bag of tricks you came in with.
Yeah.
You know, there are things about the South Node that you absolutely need to use in order to get to your, you know, final destination. So I hate to dismiss Leo, the South Node in Leo, as, oh, let go of your ego, let go of your selfish desires. I mean, in Leo, you need to be a little selfish to discover who you are. It doesn't become, you know, quite about other people. It becomes about having experiences with other people, leading other people, so that you can discover more things about yourself. And what type of leader are you? What type of, you know, who are you? You know, that's like Leo asks you that, you know, who are you? And yeah, I just feel like we gotta take a little bit from each one and use it to our advantage. I just don't feel like the South Node is something we just abandon and demonize and let it go, just let it go. And sometimes you don't have to let it go. Sometimes you can integrate it into like something new, something better, integrate it into that North Node. Like, I don't know. I'm just rambling now.
I know you're not
coffee field rage, but yeah.
Yeah, I try to.
Saying. Yeah.
Yes, I usually look at the North Node and the South Node. That's like the well, technically South Node first. That's the last thing I do in a reading. Namely because there's so much more information just in like the normal visible planets and luminaries. Yeah, but I do go through it, and after you go through the chart, it seems to me that it makes more sense. It becomes very clear. If you're looking at the North Node from a past life karmic standpoint, you know, again, maybe all the trauma and the baggage and stuff that you're bringing with you, but also like the skills and the work that you've done. And if you go like right across the chart, you know, you go to the North Node, it's telling you what you're supposed to be, like what that spiritual evolution looks like in this lifetime. And it becomes very clear how you're supposed to integrate those things. So if I'm using my own chart as an example, what did I say? It was right smack in the middle of Cancer. That means my south node was in, or is in, Capricorn, like right there in the middle, maybe a tiny bit closer to the fish side, but basically like right in the middle. I would say, okay, so in the last lifetime, this person with all that Cancer, this is somebody possibly has some sort of, we call this medical profession. A lot of times they are in feminine roles, but here's the other thing before I need to preface this. It's not just the immediate last lifetime. So these things give you like the themes of the recent lifetimes, or at least this is what I have found. So it's not just going to, maybe you were a completely different person in the last lifetime, but it's the, you know, like the last 10 or the last 100 or whatever it is. I don't know exactly how it works. That like those themes that you're bringing with you that you're trying to work on. And these are these different situations where you get the chance to, you know, hone those skills or whatever it is that you're doing. So the last lifetimes, the many lifetimes that is compressed here in Capricorn relate to being selfless, giving probably too much, probably putting too much energy or devotion into the things or the people or the stuff that you are passionate about. Now, this can on some level become obsessive, and I can definitely see that in my own life. If you guys don't know, like when I go in on something, I'm like 150 million% in. It's not always good. Like, you know, it doesn't come with a lot of balance. But those I can see, like, these are the skills that I'm probably drawing on from these other lifetimes, and I'm supposed to do something different with it. So likely, I suspect, just based on what I know about my chart and me, I would say that South Node Cancer, or excuse me, South Node in Capricorn is probably where a lot of the workaholic energy comes through. Not that Capricorns are always working, but it becomes like an energy of devotion and selflessness, and it can really drain. Yes, it can be very, very draining and life sucking. So in Cancer, I would read that as this is telling you to find the inner stillness, find the inner peace, relinquish some of that control. Control doesn't come from trying to like manhandle everything into submission, but more so from trying to just find the center, find the balance. You know, yes, understand yourself. Like it's clearly some sort of journey of self-discovery, but you still want to, I'm like talking about it like it's somebody else, but I mean, somebody out there might have the same feelings. I don't know. You still want to take that passion and devotion. You just want to put it into something else. You don't just want to like scatter it around and like keep pouring it into everybody else. You need to actually pour it into yourself and like trying to figure yourself out. So, yeah, I don't know. That's where I would go with it. Where's yours, Nikki? Let me look at yours.
You know, it's so
I got your chart. I'll find it.
Yeah. You know, it's crazy. When I had gotten my reading with you, when I first met you, you talked a lot about Hydra, you know, and being like the different, like having to change different faces and having to just transform throughout my life. It was just really cool. But you probably don't remember it.
I don't.
But my ascendant is weird. It's like the very beginning of like Leo, and like on your chart, it could be in Cancer. And I'm just a moody, weird person to begin with. So I'm like, all of that makes sense. That whole spot's just me, just ascendant. I don't know. Yeah. But no, I consider Cancer like my 12th house. Mercury, I think, is going to be going retrograde through it. Which
you do. Janice I got it set up for the 30-degree division. Your North Node, your South Node and North Node are right on, like they're 3 degrees inside of Sagittarius and Gemini, respectively. What do they show up in Prometheus in the real sky? So I don't have to like put your info birth.
Yeah, right. My South Node shows up like right on the galactic center. And then conjunct Neptune, which is like the 1st degrees of Sagittarius. Yeah. So and then it's right cuspy. So it's like right in between.
That's Ophiuchus, basically.
Yeah. I can't really decide, because when I read both, I'm like, oh, that's kind of like.
No, I'd call that's basically Ophiuchus. Yeah. What about on the Gemini side or?
It's
that right on Orion?
It's right on Orion. Yeah.
Okay. That sucks. That's really hard.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I've been having a terrible time too. recently. It's not always terrible. But the South Node I've been really focusing on trying to figure out because man, you guys, I have the weirdest experiences. I don't know what to tell you. People find me. They come from all over the place and they tell me all of their things.
Niki, I'm telling you, that's your Jupiter and your Uranus right
I know, but I've been curious lately. I'm like, was I like a holy person in a past life? Because I seriously am getting like, it's been my entire life. People
I will answer it for you. Let me give you this for once and for all. You will
and
never.
I'm like, you are forgiven, and they just feel good about it. They're like, tell me everything. I'm like, yes, you are forgiven.
I'm telling you, a lot of that is Antares. A ton of it is Antares. But if we're looking at it from the South Node, so your South Node is right smack on top of the galactic center. Now, the way that I look at the galactic center is as a cosmic representation of the crown chakra. Like, and I do this for a number of reasons, namely because almost every culture that we know of who has like a story about that part of the sky, they all recognize it as this very intense, deeply spiritual space, whether that was the place where the deities lived or the path that the souls took into or out of the afterlife or whatever was going on. There's always like some deep cosmic information there. On a, if you subscribe to the plasma cosmology or electric universe model, there's clearly electromagnetic energy that's pouring out of this part of the sky. And we have, we're electromagnetic biological creatures. So, we're affected by those things. Information can be transmitted electrically. There's all this stuff going on. So however you want to look at it. All right. So that's just the easiest way I can describe that to people is like a crown chakra representation. Okay. So with your South Node, and again, we're not necessarily looking at the last lifetime. It's just easier in conversation to maybe sometimes say that, but really it's the theme of the lifetimes recently that you've been working on. What this tells us is that in many, many lifetimes, you have opened up the crown chakra. You have been connected to source many, many lifetimes. This is like deep work that you've been doing, and it's just something that's happening very naturally to you, which means that one of the things that you will have is really intense natural psychic ability, probably too much at times, because it's overwhelming. It's like the floodgates are always open, especially with your Neptune over there. Now, I will tell you with the Neptune, I would say if that's a communication planet, which I happen to think that it is, this is where you're teaching. This is what you're meant to. So you're meant to take that information and pass it along to people. I'm not necessarily saying doing mediumship or something. I'm just saying like whatever you're getting, whatever this information is, that's a big part of what you're meant to communicate and teach and whatnot. Your vertex is also very close there, which this signifies like a lot of your personal, your movie of this lifetime is probably relates to some of this. Okay, so we go if we're looking at it from right between Ophiuchus and Sagittarius, we're getting a little bit of both of those energies, but it's right there on the tail of the Scorpion. This is a very powerful, strong, decisive energy. It comes with a lot of underworld knowledge, which is karmic knowledge, again, past life stuff. And we already see this in the mythology or like the connection I made to the crown chakra. We already see that, it's doubling up in the mythological record is what I'm trying to say. So, let me go back to your chart. So when we go over to the North Node, which if I'm taking a guess, it's right on top of probably right by Orion, right under Auriga. This is one of the trickiest, hardest parts of the sky to have to deal with because it's being pulled from 4 different constellations. Let me see if I can pull it up real quick here. Let's fix on this one. If you guys can see, if you're watching this, it's probably close to where this Venus is right now in this image. I would imagine it's probably closer to the Hyades just a little bit, but actually, no, into Gemini. No, it's probably over on this side. It's right smack in the middle. It doesn't matter. Now, this is an issue in itself because you have a ton of creative energy pouring out of the Hyades here in the horns of Taurus. This is coming from a deeper spiritual place. We have this connection to Aldebaran, which is the bull's jaw, but also it was called the crown of Anu. And Anu is the supreme primordial masculine principle in Sumerian mythology, very Shiva-esque, you guys, okay? And so all of this creative knowledge and insight, this desire to consume information and transmute it and do something powerful with, is actually coming from this deeper spiritual drive. It's like this constant connection that we already talked about elsewhere. So now you're getting hit from it from both sides. Now, on top of that, we have creative, paternal, protective energy coming up here from Auriga. This was also a shepherd. It was the crook. Real, you know, if we get right down to it, it's related to Demuzid, and he's a soft paternal figure. He's, you know, you can see here, this guy, he's even holding these little baby animals. So he's got this paternal energy, but it's still very soft. He was a vegetation god. So we have like the creative element that's coming out of it there too. But right above Orion, this was the true shepherd of Anu. And he was basically a stand-in for that god that I just said, An, or Anu in Babylon. And so again, as an emissary of the supreme creative masculine principle, like, your words matter. You have no tolerance for corruption, deception, all of like any bullshit basically is like, no, we're not having any of this at any point in time. You're also, unfortunately, and we talked about this last week too, this was Popshikal, and whether we're looking at it from like the masculine true shepherd of Anu version, or the servant of Inanna, who, you know, she's lacerating her various body parts so that she can perform the rituals for the dead. This is selfless service. This is, and it shows up in Popshikal too. So he's not like, he's a leader. He's a strong leader figure, but he's not out raising armies so he can go conquer nations. He's a leader because he's doing it from a deeper spiritual place, and the people need leadership. The people need the shepherd. They need the king, or at least, you know, in this setting, to guide them in both the material and the spiritual world. So on top of that, now we factor in Gemini, which we talk about this all the time too. This is Mars Nergal. This is in his two different forms. They're just different aspects, but it also represents like the deep emotional connections Mars has to his loved ones. This is, now we've taken this creativity, this intelligence, this curiosity, this spiritual drive, and now we're adding in the emotional element of the community, of the loved ones, of your brothers, your sisters, your children, your partners, your co-workers, your community, all of this stuff. And now we're cramming it into the North Node. And it's like, Niki, you have to work on all of this stuff, and you got to like get it as right as possible. So it's telling you like, this is not an easy placement whatsoever. So it's saying, yes, you have all this like spiritual knowledge and psychic ability and natural stuff from many, many lifetimes ago. But now you have to take this knowledge, and you got to basically be a champion in the world. Okay. You got to be smart. You got to be an innovator. You got to be creative. You got to be the mom. You got to be the sister, the brother, the whoever. You got to be the leader. You got to be the, like, it's crazy. It's insane. So yeah. It's not real. Hard to imagine that you are being pulled in like a million different directions. And like, just like you said, when you start writing the paper or whatever, you're like, I start writing about like 20 million different things, and I don't know what to focus on. That's absolutely natural. Ija Levy says, yes, very true. Wanting a relationship, but live a little secluded, not much to socialize with others, over. That one's going to be hard. So just like we said with Niki, her North Node's telling her what she needs to be doing, and clearly she's got a lot on her plate to have to deal with. But your Venus on your North Node is telling you have to open up. So the seclusion is not, it might appear like the world around you is secluding you. I'm telling you, it's not. This is internal. This is something that when you start to open yourself up to love and, affection and abundance and nurturing and like all of these things, it will start to come to you, but you're probably going to have to work a little. You're going to have to step outside the comfort zone a little bit. Layla says, sudden breakups are so common when Venus conjuncts Uranus and Taurus. It hurts. I'm very sorry to hear about any breakups that you may have experienced. Sending lots of love and prayers. Yeah. So anyways, that's my take on it.
Yeah, you're right. It took me a lot of years to understand that a lot of what I was feeling wasn't mine. It wasn't mine. Like, I can sit next to somebody and I know what they're thinking. I know what they're doing. And I thought it was me. I'm like, oh my God, like, what is this? And, and you're also a person who, parties a lot or used to party a lot. It gets confusing because you're like, why do I feel this way? Oh, I need to leave here. Like, it becomes an environment issue. But now that I'm, older, I've got more experience. It's been a lot. I'm like, oh, that's why. I'll think back and I'm like, that's why I felt that way with that person. And that's what happened. Oh my God. You know, like
you realize like it wasn't all your stuff.
It wasn't me. It was like a psychic thing. And I'm like, damn.
Yep.
Well, because
didn't some psychic tell you didn't have any psychic abilities? She told you to go be.
That's how I knew that. Yeah, it was another astrologer. It was my first.
It was an astrologer.
Yeah.
Oh no.
It was my first time getting an astrology reading. I think she's dead now. I don't know.
Well,
like her name was Rita Ann Freeman, and she was amazing. Everybody like absolutely loved her. But was very dramatic, and she'd spend most of the appointment talking about herself. So
yep, that's how they do it.
Yeah, it's kind of hard. But she was like, no, you should just and I knew something was wrong because I'm like, that just doesn't sound like me at all. And then of course she like, you know, blew.
She was doing tropical.
Yeah, just blowing smoke up everybody's ass, I think, you know, just really.
I've had the worst readings, not from astrologers. I've only honestly had a handful of astrology readings. And that's not anybody's fault. That's more just, I'm going to go in and pick it apart. So I don't like volunteer to be like, hey, can I have an astrology reading for me? Because I'm just going to sit there and analyze it, you know. But like psychic readings, I've had a ton of psychic readings. And I've had them from people. They're like, oh my God, this was the most amazing. You have to get a reading from this person. Like, it's so incredible.
Oh, yeah, I've had that too.
Then you go and you're like, oh my God, this reading's like, she's not even or he, like, they're not even close.
The last psychic reading I went into this woman's house, and she was afraid of me. Like, all of a sudden she starts getting, she didn't want to read me, and she didn't read me. She got her cards out. She's had
you were going to know. She knew.
Oh my God. And then I'll tell you something else that pissed me off. Okay. It was about a week later, 2 weeks later, all of a sudden she's an astrologer. All of a sudden she's like, all the shit that I told her I was doing that I thought was cool, now she's doing it.
Well, that's why.
It's still tropical though. Like, all of a sudden I'm like, I can't stand it. Like, I had to get away from the psychic community because it's, I think sometimes they're animals. I think if, you know, it just, it's feral, and I haven't had great experiences. I've had people tell me things that were just straight up real, but also very, like, it didn't help heal or anything. Like, I feel like that's what, you know, you should be doing when you use your psychic abilities. They should help you. They should heal. It shouldn't confuse you more. It shouldn't leave you in a state of wanting to book another appointment because you need to know. Like, I don't like that breadcrumbing shit. I
don't either.
Just either you straight up, you know, or you don't. And that's why I love astrology, because if you get a hit, you get an intuitive hit, it'll be there. It's in the chart. It'll be in the energy. Yeah. I didn't do psychic readings, you guys. I really wanted to, and I was like on the road, and I've done mediumship. I wanted to do that, but it literally drove me insane.
I can see why.
Insane, because of all the things you pick up. And when you're an open channel all the time, like, you're screwed. You're just screwed. You're never going to be able to pick or filter through the information you're getting. And then if you're having issues yourself and things aren't going well at home, or your emotional life is unstable, you're going to project a lot of your own shit into your readings too. And I don't like that. Like, I've seen that come up in my tarot, like doing tarot. And I'm like, all right, they're talking about something. Like that. I was just good. Let me just reshuffle these. We'll try again. To me, it just, not that it can't be trusted, not that it isn't an amazing and magical thing that people can do. It's just, I've been jerked around and screwed around with for so long. I've had to deal with people that saw things that they wouldn't tell me, and they would use me and screw me over or try to possess me and be weird about. Like, I've had enough. I don't need another psychic reading. I don't care if it saves my life. I'm good.
Hey, you know what? My mom does psychic readings, and she is awesome. She's definitely my go-to person.
Oh, I did want to see your mom, actually. I take that back. I do. I take that back, because I know, like, she'd be cool. She'd be like, she wouldn't.
It might be harder for her to read you now, because she already knows you pretty well. Like, that's why And I don't know, this happens to other people. They do like cold reading. They want to know about the person. I don't want to know anything about the person, because if I know something, then I'm not going to trust the insight that I get. I'm like, well, I'm just saying that because of whatever. And if you guys have never done psychic work before, it sounds just like there's nothing spectacular that like makes you know for sure that it's psychic information. It sounds just like all the other goofy stuff that's popping up in your head at any given time. The difference between like a great psychic and everybody else is just psychic doesn't think about it. They just start spitting it out. And if it, they don't think too hard about it.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I was studying with a girl who started going and doing these psychic readings. I wasn't comfortable doing them yet. She was charging people for them. And she had somebody so upset because she told them they died in an explosion, because she's just telling them what she saw.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how do you know it didn't mean that they died fast?
Right.
They could have been saying that,
Yeah.
Like, why would you say these things? Had her client so upset and had to have somebody else come and talk to this client about what it was she was getting. And I thought, I'm not doing that. I'm not going to charge somebody and tell them something wrong. I mean, you don't really know, if you don't know how to play Oracle, don't, because your words hold a lot of weight.
Yeah, tropical astrologers.
Yes. Okay. It holds a lot of weight, and people put a lot of what they think they know on that information. They make choices, they make decisions, they change the way they feel based on what you are telling them. So, when you give them a whole string of bullshit and 6 months down the line, nothing happened. 3 years down the line, nothing happened. Like, they made choices based off of whatever bullshit you told them, and hopefully you told them something healing, something that actually like helps their path, and, not send them on some wild goose chase looking for something they're never going to find.
I have had good, like, there's definitely good psychics out there. There's people who,
there are.
Use it the right way.
I feel like I was, just screwed with on purpose. Like, I already know everything. Like, I need to know. Okay. Like, and the illusion and delusion comes with having to live with that, and having to live with the fact, because you fight it. Like, I knew that my relationship was going to fall apart. I knew it was going to fall apart 10 years before it actually did. And I just like, no, that would never fucking happen. None of that you're showing me is ever going to happen. And lo and behold, sometimes we need that illusion and delusion to just fucking get through whatever it is we're living through, because life takes a long time. It is a long time where we're spending days and months and years, with information that's really hard to digest and hard to swallow. So yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, that's
Niki. Did we talk about the new moon yet? Have we talked about this?
We talked a little bit about it. I mean, we did. We talked a little bit about it. Like, it's in direct opposition to Pluto, so we can expect like challenges to our, emotional security. Some type of challenge is going to present itself, especially with that hard, aspect with Pluto. Pluto's about transformation and purging and pulling, like, pulling things up and out of the woodwork. With Cancer, it's emotional. It becomes internal. It becomes about, deeper than the superficial stuff. It's like soul work, real soul work. We've kind of been building up to this. When you watch the cycles all the time, like we do, it's kind of cool to see how it all builds up, and flows together. And I can see the changes in other people's lives through each cycle. And I can see the emotions build up to that full moon, and then kind of just peter off. Cause I talk to the same people almost every day. I've got like a hardcore group of folks that I see all the time, and they tell me everything. And it's cool to watch astrology work. It's cool to watch it actually work. Like right now, everybody's talking about Jupiter in Cancer. Okay. Like, stop. Modern astrology. All right. Jupiter is not in Cancer. It's in Gemini. And he's been just kind of revealing all of the patterns that we see today, dealing with like I don't know, it's just like information, tons of information we're getting about our, governments, our, power and knowledge is all there. He's gathering it up, and, it becomes about pattern recognition and just, making different choices. It's just not, it's not in Cancer, and it fucking, sorry. I'm trying, sorry. Oh my God. I'm trying really hard to be not like that. But I mean, yeah. I'd like our videos to get more views, and I feel like
I don't think that's what it is, Niki.
I think it's because I just go off. I can't help it, guys. I deep down, I'm a heathen. I'm a sailor. I just want to cut loose, okay, and I just want to let go. And I love to say fuck. I love it.
It's a good word.
The best word in the world. But no, Jupiter is still in Gemini. Jupiter is going to be in Gemini till about November 22nd, till he'll enter Cancer for like a little bit. And then he's going to retrograde back into Gemini.
Yeah, we got like a year.
Yeah, it's like sometime in 2026, he's actually bolting out of there then. So, I don't know. It's like
I think it's a good this is Gemini's very partnership related.
Yeah.
And Jupiter's definitely about procuring that mate. So
I forgot about that. Yeah. You're right. That might be good for some people.
Yes, it definitely is good for some people. Yes, it will be.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, because Gemini is connected to the Lover's card. Like, I'm a big tarot person, and used to be a big tarot. I don't use tarot as much anymore. But yeah, Gemini is connected to the Lover's card, about making choices. It's about the, connections we make and that kind of stuff. So that's sweet. We actually, this lunar cycle, have Venus and Jupiter conjunct in Gemini too. They'll be meeting up in just a few weeks, probably like 2 weeks or so, maybe around the full moon. Maybe. I don't remember.
I'll tell you.
Kind of jumping ahead there.
Looks like the 10th, 11th, 12th, so mid August.
Yeah.
Yep. That's a really strong romantic placement. Like, if you have this in your chart or synastry, that's pretty intense.
I see the happiness and the romance there. I can definitely see that. I could feel that with Venus and Jupiter. I'm sure it'll be good for, somebody will benefit from that.
Just for sure.
Well, just like our friend, Layla, when Venus conjunct Uranus, it wasn't didn't go well. Maybe with Venus conjunct Jupiter, things will turn around.
Yeah, that's very possible. And again, it always depends on the person's chart. So
it does. It does. It always depends on that. Yeah. But yeah, that's it. Jupiter is a partnership planet. I forgot about that. I sometimes just get in my mundane.
You thought it was expanding?
Oh my God. Well, when I think of Jupiter, I just think of like Odin, like a god of knowledge and power. And,
my Norse mythology is not great.
Yeah. No, neither is mine. But that's just like, that's just what pops in my head when I think of Jupiter. I see that like eye patch Odin on whatever movie that was. Yeah. I don't know, probably some Thor movie. I think of that because we associate archetypes with different planets, like that's just my mental picture of it. So, I don't really, Jupiter, I just don't see the hoe side of it, from Greek mythology, I guess.
Oh, not the hoe side, but definitely strong sexual energy, but just not necessarily spreading it around.
Well, it's connected to the sacral chakra, right? I mean, we have.
I would for sure connect it that way.
Yeah, I would definitely.
But a healthy sacral chakra is you're not gonna be out, hooking up with everybody that spreads their legs, right? Like that's not what you're doing.
No.
So
I've been seeing a lot of that lately. I'm like, what are you guys doing?
It's an epidemic. It is an epidemic.
Well, that's not good sex magic. That's not how you use that energy. That's not what
that is a misuse of your creative power for sure. Ladies and gentlemen, that is
got to get channeled. You got to channel it. You know, some people I know, you know, can use it to control the energy in the room. You know, you can control things.
Sexual energy?
Yeah. Haven't you ever tried that?
It's creative energy. I mean, I don't think I've ever tried to manipulate the energy in the room. Can't remember doing that.
No. Oh, I used to go. Well, when I was younger, I used to go to parties, and you can control the energy in the room by just like
probably, I guess,
pushing your thoughts out. Like, you know, you create it and you push it out.
To do that. If I'm at a party or in a room with people, I'm trying to smile and get the hell out of there so I can go back home and like read a book or something. Like that is not.
Well, yeah. Now I don't know. I've spent the last few weeks just being alone. It feels really good. I love socializing. I love all my friends and my people, especially the ones I have like online, all of that. But I just get, sometimes I just get like, I need to hide. I need to just go and rest and hide and not socialize as much. And Cancer season, I think, is perfect for that.
Yeah, it's a great time. It is like summertime fun time though. So I don't know. I guess your beach days need to be solitary or less.
Well, yeah, that's why I want to go during the week. You go to the beach during the week and nobody's like there. And I'll have to look at the sky. I'll have to look at the map.
That's why I schedule work on the weekends because I'm not going out. Like everybody's going to be out. Chat with Mary Mystic Lorna says, yes for Niki. Humanity needs to hear what you have to say. I agree. Even the occasional fuck bombs, I think, are necessary.
Yeah.
Some people need to hear
I talk about some weird stuff. Like I know I talk about weird stuff. Like
this is the place to do it.
Yeah, for sure, yeah. I mean, I just feel like this generation of people that are they yearn, they want connections so bad, and these folks have been raised, unfortunately, with technology always being there. So you know, you always have a parent who's like, you know, on their phone going like this, not paying attention to you. Like everybody has a relationship with their technology, and they are missing out on the actual relationships that they have with humanity. And we're seeing that, you know, with conversations about ChatGPT.
Yeah.
You know, I had some weird ones. I've had some weird conversations, but you know, we see our relationship with technology changing. Obviously, it's getting more advanced. And more advanced, like every day. What we discover, what's, you know, happening with, you know, our governments and war, and you know, you talk about aliens and all this other stuff. It gets overwhelming. I mean, we can't even be trusted with a little box like this. I mean, you're glued to it like crazy. I mean, I don't know.
They're designed that way. They like
it separates you though from that human connection.
It
can bring it to you. Like I love connecting with people online, you know, like how we do, and even just going on like Facebook and all of that. But I have an addictive personality. I get obsessed easy. I just end up like in the zone. Like I don't want to be in the scroll zone, you know, I don't want to do that. So I've been trying really hard to, just, you know, like I'm leaving tech and then I'm like reintroducing myself. Like, so we have a new relationship. It's kind of weird, but it's almost like we need to break up in order for me to like find myself. So that when we get back together, tech, you know, then I can be a little bit more, I don't know.
So not so codependent.
Yes. Yeah. Very codependent. I hated it. But now I'm starting to love it again because I can use it for what I need to use it for.
Right.
But no, I got off topic. Like always. But the generation.
It's in topic.
Yeah. The generation now, though, I mean, it's really, just yearning. It really wants to have some type of human connection. So I couldn't imagine dating a million people. I couldn't imagine just like, oh, I'm going to go meet this guy who I matched with online because we have the same thing. Where's the chemistry? Does he even light up your cha-cha? I mean, come on. I mean, there's gotta be something lighting up in here, and there's nothing.
Like they're just on the dates, and they say, I don't know, I don't get it. But I can't say anything because I met my husband on a dating app. And I was like, ready to marry that guy in like seconds.
Yeah, but that was spirit led. That's different. When spirit leads you on the path and you make it and you're there and you see, like, you're like, I get it. Yeah, I get it now. It's different when you're just bored.
Yeah, it's not good. I don't know. I'm not.
You need a guy to pay your bills or whatever the hell's going on out there. I don't really.
I'm definitely not wired that way, and I have a really hard time relating to people because I don't do psychic readings anymore. But a lot of my clients, like younger clients, that was what they were coming to talk about. Like, oh, I hooked up with this guy and then I hooked up with that guy. I'm like, oh God. Like I'm trying to come from a place of no judgment, but I just want to be like, oh my God, like, what are you doing? This is a terrible idea.
Yeah, because your body's your temple. It's energy. So you're picking up all their energy.
You get tied into their energy. Yes.
Yeah. And when you're a spiritual person.
Diseases it's gross.
Oh my God, I know. Oh, well, I've been trying to listen to my spirit guides a lot more. And okay, guys, I do talk to God like we're good old friends. Like we've known each other for like a million years. And I swear, I'm just me. And it just scares people. Like, oh, you're not supposed to talk to God like that. What am I supposed to use? Art thous? And will I, like he knows who the hell I am. He made me, or she, she actually.
Well, technically, if you are God, then you're talking to yourself. So
there you go. There you go.
So you can say all the things. You're not going to
say all the things. Yeah. Well, no, you are, because then like a jar is going to fall on your foot and you're going to fracture.
Only if you have that program. No, that's a. If you think you deserve to suffer from the way that you're communicating with the divine, then sure, you're gonna get I don't
deserve to suffer at all, actually, ever.
I do that. I'll like do pooch. I'm like, oh my God, you guys, like, you don't fucking believe, like, you won't even imagine. Yeah, I do that shit too. Like I think if you're just a real person and you're honest, then you're not trying to pretend, right?
Yeah.
I don't chant, I don't cuss when I'm chanting usually, though.
Oh no, I've always had a relationship with cussing. Like, I love it. I remember like praying to God when I was a kid. Like, I swear to God, I'll never say fuck again if you just give me this. Like
making deals.
Trying. Yeah, that doesn't work actually.
Not as much.
Yeah. No, they just laugh about that. They're like,
Yeah, you guys, if you haven't already, go to the website. Go to siderealinternational.com. We got a forum. Register for the upcoming event. September 27th. It's about 5 hours long, I think. What are we thinking? 10 to... It's like 9 or starts at 9 or 10. The information's on the website, you guys. And then it's going to run. We got awesome speakers. We got Ethan Chimenti. We got Dr. Danny. Dario Tools going to be giving a talk. We got panels talking about cool stuff. We got free giveaways. Like, definitely go on there. It's going to be a rocking good time. It is the first and only, up to this point, Sidereal Astrology conference only. So only Sidereal. So come and learn and make connections and meet people. Everybody's like, well, I wish I had more friends that, were into astrology. Like, come and like interact with people.
Come and make some. Yeah.
Breakout rooms and stuff. You can interact with people and it'll be a good time. It'll be fun.
Yeah. No, it's going to be an amazing time. And we really hope to see you there. And we really hope that you want to like support it and work with us, because Sidereal Astrology I don't know if haven't noticed, but it's not very popular. All right. Like, it's real sky as is. You would think it would be the most popular thing since sliced bread. But
that's why we don't get tons of views, Niki. It's because we're doing Sidereal. Like, there's just not, the audience isn't there yet, but it's happening. Fewer and fewer people that I get on calls with, like, don't know now what Sidereal is. That's jumped up quite a bit just in the last few years. It seems, actually. It seems like people are starting to figure it out. So,
well, the negative, oh God, the negative attachments that they've had, like on Gemini, and it just like the negative way they talk about the zodiac just really pisses me off, because it scares people, because if they've already decided, no, I'm a Virgo and there's nothing you can do to change my mind. Well, you're more than just your sun sign,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
and then if you tell them they're a Leo, we're like, well, I'm not dramatic, I'm not this, then right away it's
Yeah.
like, okay, boss, Okay,
Yes.
Miss Boss Hoss. All right, you're definitely not a Leo, but whatever. Yeah,
Right,
I mean, it's cool. It's cool. And I just think the more people are willing to take an honest look at who they really are, and what they really relate to, more and more people are opening up to that. They already know, like, hey, the world isn't what it seems to be. It isn't what they say it is. You're sold a package, and when you graduate from high school or college or whatever, you're told you need to get a job, you need to fall into line. That isn't a life that anybody desires anymore. Nobody wants to work 60 hours a week. Nobody wants to end up like their parents, who sacrificed everything for the greater good, and don't really have anything to show for it now. Well, some do. Some people are wealthy.
Yeah.
Always going to be.
But a lot of people they work themselves.
But they've sacrificed their health. Yeah. You sacrifice a lot. And when it comes down to it, who wants to do that? I don't want to sacrifice my health so that somebody else can be wealthy and go on vacations and put their kids through college. I'm not doing that. Nobody wants to do that. They want to take care of their own families. They want to take care of their own children. They want to build their own families and their own lives. And right now, in the state of affairs, the economy is kind of tight. I mean, we've got Saturn. I think Saturn is aspecting the Saturn Neptune. It's squaring the
hold on, I got my
Taurus, Virgo, and Sag too, isn't it? Isn't it squaring those things?
I don't think so. Is my
resources?
I mean, it depends on your definition of a square. I mean, it's within like 15 degrees.
Yeah, I would have to go back and look. Because I was just going over some notes, and I was like,
well, Saturn and Neptune together, conjunct there in Pisces, are bringing some sort of collective shift in consciousness. As we went into detail in the last episode.
Yes,
so you guys can watch that, definitely check that out. But we went back to the 1700s to verify that that's what was happening. But this is, like you said, there's a cultural change. It's not just in the United States. It's definitely happening everywhere. Now, obviously, the internet, just became mainstream like a few decades ago, which in the grand scheme of humanity is not that long. We're still clearly trying to figure out how to work with it. AI's, coming, it's going to change things too. So, like this requires some sort of shift in consciousness. And as AI takes over more and more jobs, probably not our jobs, because it requires some level of, deeper intuition, and, it's not quite as easy to do. But for a lot of people, their jobs are probably going away. And if you have that on a mass scale, like outside of universal basic income, like you're going to have mass riots, and like nobody's going to want to work anymore anyway. So the whole tide is shifting, and it'll be interesting. If nothing else, it'll be interesting to watch and see how this all unfolds. But people aren't putting up with they can only handle so much, like America exists because they raised the tax on tea, by what, like 2 or 3%. Like people have their limits, So.
They do, and they're reaching them. And I think that says a lot about the Uranus going through Taurus. Right now, tropical astrology puts it in Gemini, and they're like, that's why all this crazy communication stuff's happening. No, that's Jupiter recognizing the patterns, sifting through the information, and filtering out what's garbage and what's actually true. And then we got Uranus, who's still in Taurus, which is like totally not trusting the existing order of things. It's like, hey, this isn't cool. None of this stuff lines up. It's this distrust of authority and like all of this other thing. Like, I don't know. when you compare it and you're like, how are you spinning the tropical story? And then you see what's really happening. It's easier to look at what's really happening and you can see it. You even turn on the news, watch it for like 30 minutes and you're like, oh yeah. Like that really matches the sidereal. It doesn't match anything tropical. I'm telling you guys.
Right.
It's like you got to use your imagination if you're going to follow the tropical.
You really got to work to pigeonhole it into it doesn't.
God. It doesn't. Yeah, and Uranus is going to be traveling through Taurus for a really long time, you know, and Taurus is a lot about like you said, absorbing information, taking it in, and you know, Taurus is a lot about like building up your security. I don't really get the money association with Taurus. I guess it, you know, if you're going to relate it to like your skills and what you know and how to like make the money, you know, but
just not like a blanket material.
Yeah. Like it definitely has something to do with like how you procure your resources, but money, I'm not sure. I got to do a little bit more research myself, but I know that there are other astrologers out there who tell you Taurus is about money, resources, stuff. I mean, that might be true. But
there's definitely maybe an abundance connection, but I wouldn't. I think that the Greek fixation with that like overly materialistic at the expense of all things spiritual is erroneous, to put it nicely.
Yeah,
I don't see it.
Yeah, I love the way you put that. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. What else do we got going on? Mercury in retrograde. Guess what? I said I'm not going to fall for any of that retrograde shit. Nothing's been happening. No retrograde weird shit has been happening to me, guys, at all. Which is awesome. There's been like, what do they say? What are the retrograde things with Mercury? Is it like X's come back? And like,
let me ask ChatGPT.
Yeah, ask Chat. Like, because I swear everyone's talking to me about their exes coming back. I was like, well, God, me and my ex, we filled out the last of our paperwork. Wisconsin makes you wait like 120 days to get your court date. Like,
they want to
torture you. Fabulous. Yeah, I was like, I'm so glad I never have to spend another year with this person. So yeah, there's been no reconnections, nothing like that.
Pop Astrology says Mercury retrograde is often blamed for communication breakdowns, text not sending, misunderstandings, travel delays, missed flights, traffic problems. Hey, everywhere, somewhere, somebody's missing a flight, okay? Technology glitches, phone crashes, software bugs. It's happening every day, all day, everywhere.
That was happening before, though. That was happening before Mercury went into retrograde.
Yep, it sure was. Contract issues, bad timing to sign agreements. It's frequently portrayed as a cosmic scapegoat for chaos. Memes and social media posts will often say things like, don't sign anything, Mercury's in retrograde.
It's stupid. I think I bought my car during Mercury retrograde, like the end of it. And I was like, I was worried about it.
Something's always retrograde. That's the thing. Like there's always something retrograde.
Yeah, exactly. Pluto's going retrograde right now. I mean, we got Pluto and what else?
And it's not even it's not even a real thing that's happening. It's just an optical illusion. I mean, like you can where it's at, but like the planet's not going in reverse, you guys. It's just from the relation of the Earth, it looks like it's starting to go backwards. It's not. It's doing its own thing in its own spot, and everything's perfectly fine.
What I noticed, and this could be the sun moving into Cancer, this could be Mercury, appearing to move into Cancer, but I just feel like the vibe has gotten more nostalgic. Like I had a dude come in and we talked about Saturday morning cartoons.
Yeah,
they were the best thing in the world. Like you couldn't wait to get up. And then, he dropped some shit on me, and I was like, wish I would have known this. But he was like, yeah, I used to get up at like 6 a.m, and I'd pop a movie in the VHS, and I would, it would record so I could sleep in. And I'm like, oh, I never did that. I never did that once.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
I know. I never thought of it. If I missed it, I missed it. And I'm telling you guys, some of you know this, but some of you don't know this. It hit 11 o'clock. And it was infomercial city. You weren't going to watch anything on the weekend then. Like, no, that's when totally screwed if you didn't. Yeah.
I forget the actual last cartoon that came on, but like, I know that X-Men was second to last. And after that, like we were getting ready to run outside because As soon as the cartoon stopped, that's when mom was gonna make you do work. So like we
Yeah,
got out
yeah,
of the
you
house
got
and
both.
nobody
Yeah.
saw us until it was sundown, because if you were around, mom's was making you do some work.
Oh my God, you were cleaning. You were
Yep.
cleaning. You were it sucked. Yes, I remember that. I grew up with like 4 or 5 television channels. We lived
Us
out
too.
in the middle
We had
of nowhere. So
We had 3.
yeah.
We had Fox, ABC, and PBS, and the rest were just snow.
Oh, you had PBS. That was one
We
that
sure
wouldn't come
did.
in. I loved PBS. I'd always see the preview for Nova, and they talk about space.
Yeah.
And I was like obsessed with space. The only
Yeah.
space show I could watch was like Star Trek. The Next Generation.
That's the best one. That is the
yes. Yes, I used to actually I would go to bed dreaming and be like, "Oh, I'm on a spaceship," and I get to use the whole they had that imaginary room. What did they call it? The hologram deck.
The holodeck.
Holodeck, yeah, where you could go and just make some shit up. Imagine how weird that would be. You walk in on somebody and they're making love to somebody that's not even real. I used to think about that.
Who cleans that thing? Because people are doing inappropriate things in there.
Right. They even hint at it in some of the episodes.
They sure did. Sure did. I don't know if you guys can see this out there. This is what's happening. So when Mercury on here gets really, really bright, it's because it's closer to the Earth and it's circling around the sun. So when it starts to go retrograde, rather, it starts to get dimmer because it's moving behind the sun and it's farther away from the Earth, and then it's just coming back. Okay, so we're just farther away than Mercury, so we get to see it making this loop from a distance, and that's literally all that's happening. There's nothing dark or spooky or anything. It's happening all in its natural time. This is exactly what needs to be happening. God help us all if something comes through the solar system and actually starts making these planets go in reverse. We are all screwed. That is the end of days. And until then, this is all very normal and natural, and nothing.
The moon starts retrograding, guys.
We're done.
You won't even know it.
No, we're all set. If the moon does anything unusual like that, I see these TikTok videos and they're like, "Oh my God, the moon's in a different spot." Yeah, it's constantly moving around the Earth. It's not in the same spot every single day. Hi, Trish Farrell 78. Damn, I'm late again. Lal, hello from Boston. Hello.
Hey, how's it going?
Yep.
Boston. Do you have the cool Boston accent? Because I always try to. That's one accent I can't get down.
I'm not good with accents.
No.
That's not my thing.
I used to be. I don't know, not so much anymore. Some friends of mine and we were obsessed with the movie Trainspotting at one time.
That's a good movie. Yeah.
And we started speaking the Scottish accent, and then we did it for months. We just talked like we were from the movie. So it was fun.
My mom used to have a rocking Scottish accent. Okay. Awesome. It was her best one for sure. Well, then she started working for this neurologist. He was Indian. And every time, her Indian accent was killer. She was great. But every time she's tried to speak with a Scottish accent, it would come out Indian. It was hilarious. It is definitely one of the best.
I had an Indian professor once, and oh my God, I loved mimicking his. I love it because I remember everything you say. If you have an accent, I'm going to remember.
I'm going to remember it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good way to learn something. You're right. I didn't think
Absolutely.
about that.
Absolutely. I don't know. The thicker it is, the better, because I'm really straining to pay attention.
Yeah.
Yeah, the moon goes retrograde, guys. You're not even going to know
we're done. We're all done. Gone. It's all over. That's that one movie, 2012, when the ocean comes and it's washing over the Himalayas. That's what happens.
Oh, yeah.
We're done.
I remember that movie, 2012. They really wanted to scare the shit out of everybody, didn't they? Everyone's like, it's going to happen, the apocalypse. And then they hit you with all the zombie apocalypse movies. And I mean, my God, there was just
all the Mayan calendar stuff. It was all the Mayan calendar stuff, which.
Yeah, what happened? The guy who was in charge of the shit died, right? Isn't that just what happened?
I don't know. This is not my area of expertise whatsoever. But according to Graham Hancock, who is a researcher and a great writer, and he's definitely awesome. He says that there's actually, he talked to the guy before he died or whatever. And he says there's an 80-year window. It's not supposed to be the way their calendar's set up. It's a window of time which puts us out until like when? We got a while anyways. We got a little while. But I think Dr. Robert Schoch talked about that too in his book on the origins of the Sphinx. And he was saying how like it's the coronal mass ejection that we really should all be worried about. And that's definitely, well, worrying about it's not going to help us, like your average person, but like governments should be more concerned about this, namely because even a small scale solar event can completely wipe out the grid, like very, very easily. And we're so reliant on technology and the electrical grid, like we would be screwed, and things would probably collapse very quickly. But a coronal mass ejection, where basically we have to all go underground for the next 20 years because it's like, you know, going outside is frying your body and stuff.
Yeah.
That's a really serious situation. But
and I've seen all those movies, guys. I'm not going underground. I'll be okay.
I'll
take my chances. Like,
who wants to live underground? Yeah, like
I don't. It always gets weird. People get weird. They get all like El Rape, or they get all
it's Lord of the Flies, but underground. Yeah, nobody wants that.
Screw that. No. I know. I always like would make fun of the people in those movies. I'm like, I bet you wish you wouldn't have made it, right?
Well, but also like, if you're not afraid to die, like if you're like conscious of what's coming after, like it's not quite as horrible. I mean, I would still try to survive, but you do.
I'll go down into the base. What's that going to do? You know? I mean, I'm sure I won't even know about it. I'll probably just be driving down the road, like having a good old time, and then hopefully not.
Trish said 3:11 p.m. Eastern Boston would put the new moon in Pisces. What? I don't think so. What is today? Boston? Let's see. I don't think so.
Oh, that's really far away, actually. I was like looking, I'm like, Pisces, where's that?
Did you mean Pisces? It should be it's in the same one for everybody. It should be in Cancer. But I didn't know my name today. I had to double check with Niki when I was looking at my chart. So don't feel bad if, you know, it's not in the right spot. You said, dude, Cappadocia, Turkey. Okay. And they figured out the underground life. Oh, yeah. Thursday. Okay. Yes. Thursday. Okay. All right. I think we're close.
What day is it today? Yeah. Tomorrow. Yes.
Yeah. Today's Wednesday. Okay.
Yeah. The new moon is tomorrow. Trish. Yeah. You're right. The new moon's tomorrow.
I got to see what time
we kind of let the map just kind of go.
Yeah. It's running around right now. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not Ekaterinburg. What's going on, buddy?
It was in Cancer.
I need somewhere.
Chat GPT told you it was in Pisces. That chat, I'm telling you, is a little.
Yeah, you got to watch him. Yeah. They're a little goofy stuff in.
He's a little people pleaser too. I'm like, you can't just keep telling me things I want to hear. That's like weird. I don't know.
Where's okay, so hold on.
If I was a weaker person, I'd be like, okay.
Yeah, you got to watch him. He's straight up lies for you.
He lies. You can't trust that man.
Nope.
If you think
okay, so this is the Ekaterinburg time. So this is tomorrow. What do we call this? Yeah, I guess it is for me tomorrow too. I don't know why my kid, but late. So we're coming. Oh, maybe that's why. So as you can see, like the actual new moon is right before midnight my time. So that's why I'm always like, I don't think it's tomorrow, but yeah, it's right there on the edge. So, but we don't usually, we do our new moon stuff usually, like our new moon pujas and parties and whatnot. We do them a couple days later with the first crescent being visible. So we have like 2 to 3 days before we got to do that. That's why the articles on the website are also late, because I got a couple of days for the new moon.
Yeah. I've been working on my writing. I'm telling you, God, I'm such a perfectionist. I got to knock that off. And like, who cares? Like, just.
Yeah. But if you figure you've been, like sitting on this information for years, like you just have a lot that it needs to come out. I would write it all and then like you said, like start cutting and pasting into
what makes sense and what goes. Yeah, that's what I've had to do, because otherwise you don't write. Otherwise you just get stuck and you're like, okay, I guess I'm just like writer blocked, and it's not real. Like writer's block isn't real. You have to walk away and then come back with like a fresh perspective.
Yeah, go get lunch.
Do that a bunch. Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes for like the fiction and stuff, like you gotta sometimes put like 6 months in between before you go and take another look at it.
I used to want to write a lot of fiction. I used to want to do, oh my God, so much. And I don't know if like getting married and having kids killed all that creativity. I don't know if it killed it, but I really had to, and like,
yeah, you're putting all your energy into other stuff, like people and their survival and well-being.
Well, when I had my kids, you know, I had my son, and I was already a high school dropout. I didn't have my driver's license. I drove without it. You know, I mean, I was just kind of like not in a good space. And when I had my son, it was like, now is like the best time to get your shit together, you know, and live for this other person. This is about them now. So that was, I don't want to say fun, but I mean, it was like, I need to be a lot more responsible than what I am. Let's do this now. And then it was like 6 months after my son, I got pregnant with my daughter. So, you know, it was like, hey, you don't get to be selfish anymore. This isn't about you anymore. This is about the people you're bringing into the world. And that was
the responsible thing to do.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I didn't have, you know, friends that I wanted to stay in contact with. It wasn't like I had like, I don't know. I always wanted my own family. So yeah, I focused on that for a lot of years, poured a lot into it. So yeah, I don't know. I don't regret that.
Yeah. Don't have any regrets. It'll happen when it's time. You don't got to worry about it or try super hard. Trish says, I'm releasing a soul contract on the new moon and making a big pivot in my life. That sounds good. That sounds definitely good.
Oh my God. I did that. I've done that. That's really good. Talk about like getting rid of like 100 pounds of weight off your shoulders. Yeah, that's a good feeling.
Yeah, absolutely.
You aren't going to regret that. Yeah, new moon. What is that magically? Is that a manifestation time? It's manifestation time, isn't it?
Well, yeah. I mean, it's a seed planting time.
Yeah.
So planting the seeds of I mean, it's right on the border of getting rid of the old stuff and starting over. So you're both.
You're building on what was left over from, you know, the last cycle. Isn't that really what it is?
Or starting over completely.
Yeah, you could be. Yeah,
I like those.
Yeah, I do like those. I like the whole starting over completely, you know. I like that fresh clean slate, going for it. New moons always seem really amazing to me. I'm always like, this is all the stuff I'm going to do. And then by the time I get to the full moon, like I always find my energy is out of balance, out of whack. And I've once you notice the pattern, it becomes easier to correct it. So, you know, this last one, it was a lot easier to correct, you know. It's like, oh, okay, I just need to let some stuff go and I'll be fine. But for me, it's been like, I have been experiencing, I think, you know, an information overload, really. I mean, we take in a lot of information all the time. And, you know, unfortunately for me, I was like, I need to watch the news. I need to know what's going on. And like, I can't handle that. I literally can't handle that, or I will just like freaking explode, because I hear and I see what's happening. I'm like, well, that's a lie. That's a lie. They're a lie. How are these people alive? How did we not like pitchfork it up and march on down there?
Because we're just a little too comfortable still.
Yeah. And that comfort's going to be going away, I think, in maybe a year or so. Maybe
I don't know. I really think the cell phone addiction and the pleasure addiction, I think it's keeping people trapped in their illusions,
you know, about what security really is. Yeah. Because some people find security in their misery because they know what's going to happen next.
Yeah, it's predictable.
And and that's what keeps us stuck. I think that's what kept me stuck for so long. I don't know. I think
it keeps everybody stuck at some point.
Like, why did I do that? Why was I like that? What was I holding on to for so long? I look at it now and I'm like, oh God, I would never do that again. Never. I'm like clutching my pearls. I'm like brushing my, I'm spraying myself with alcohol, like 90%. Like, clean the vibes. Never want to do that again. But like, so for some people, that's just their lesson. They have to, they feel they have to sacrifice themselves for the, greater good. So it's okay.
Well, some of that too is cultural. Like I know that definitely happened to me. And I still struggle with it. I'm really trying to get past. So I've like built businesses and for other people, like in some cases, like $1 million businesses for these people. And I love marketing. I love business development. Like it's fun for me. It's kind of like a game, but at the same time, it's like, wait, I'm trying to do this thing where I don't just do the, like, take the common marketing strategy. So like, I'll just be honest with you guys right now. I'm really, I don't want to say struggling. That's not the right word, but it keeps popping up. I keep seeing all these motivational, like, YouTubers and stuff. They're like, oh yeah, like you should be making more content and like all this stuff. I'm like,
you see the patterns.
But I hate editing. Like I hate it, and then I'll look at, so I do like doing the live streams. I like it a lot, but there's not a big audience for Sidereal Astrology, as we said. And those people like that we do have, like there's a certain type of person who likes long form content. It's not the same thing as somebody who's like searching YouTube for, and I used to make those videos where it was
they got the quick explanation of things and
yeah, which is great. Like it's also good. It helps build your channel. So like basically what I'm saying in a long and short way is I'm trying to get out of this idea that I have to build the business instead of just letting things unfold naturally. I still keep trying to control it.
Yes.
Or at least I'm not, but I hear the thoughts coming up and it's like, you should, why aren't you doing this? Like there's all these like things that you're just leaving on the table. Why are you doing that? And that's because I'm not doing it that way anymore. I'm definitely not, you guys. So yeah, so I'll let you know.
Yeah, I do have difficulties coming up with content to post on the ISAA Facebook page. And a lot of it is because I just don't have the time. And I know that a lot of people use social groups. Like I've been part of a bunch of different social groups on Facebook that are sidereal. Like, I have to plug this because I absolutely love this group. And they're folks I've been following for a really long time. And they're part of the Radical Astrology group on Facebook. Okay. I believe it's Michael Hardigan's group, One Sky Astrology, and they're doing an event on Sunday, the 27th, where you can just go in that group and you'll find the event. And they're talking about the Grand Trine happening, I believe, with Pluto and Uranus and Mars. So yeah, they're talking about like the outer planet stuff. So I have to plug that because I do want to see that. And they're just an amazing group. So if you get a chance to go into there and go on Facebook and find it, it'll be in, I think, Radicals. I don't know. I think it could be posted in other groups too. Maybe the people who watch us already saw it, but yeah, check out that little online event. Because I like that kind of stuff. I like when a bunch of different people get together and talk about like what these outer planets are doing. Because right now we're living in an age where the outer planets are making huge transformations, and collectively, not just individually, but collectively. And I'm just thinking about like 20 years from now, maybe 30 years from now, reading for people who are born now, and looking at their chart and what it is that is going on in their lives with these, crazy formations. So it portends a lot of change with these outer planets.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So, I mean, anytime I can support that, I want to push that out there. So check it out if you get a chance, guys. And also visit our website, ISAA siderealinternational.org.com.
Yeah, it's in the video description.
Yeah,
actually, scrolling right here at the bottom of the screen. Yeah,
sign up to come to the event. We're going to have it replayed on YouTube September 27th as well. We'll eventually get it on our channel. But yeah, we have a lot of great panelists. We have some cool discussions about house systems. So, in sidereal, people get real, I don't want to say sensitive, but they can get sensitive about their house systems.
Yeah.
And I can see why. The areas of life to an individual, I mean, they're very important, and how we read and what we do needs to make sense. And it's really cool because you're going to see that people practice completely different, yet get some of the same information. Yeah. It's really, really awesome. I love that we're having that discussion on the house systems. And I could be a part of that one, but I'm excited to watch.
We're doing one on the moon too, right?
Yes.
Yes. On the moon and astrology.
We have one on the moon.
Different.
Yeah.
So we have on our panels, we have people, like Niki just said, from different traditions, but the moon one's interesting because Gary O'Toole's, he's going to be sitting in for the Vedic side of things. I'm actually going to be doing, I believe I'm on that panel. I'm emceeing the whole event, but I'll be giving the Mesopotamia take. And then I think Michael's doing the Western side, right? I don't know.
No, I am. I'm doing the.
Oh, you're doing. Oh, you're doing that one. Okay.
Yeah. Well, and I follow more of the evolutionary, humanistic, type of astrology. So I'm going to talk about the moon in that way. So yeah, how that pertains. A little bit more psychological stuff. I don't know. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I still have to prepare for that. I still have a lot to prepare for that event. So
you were going to prepare for, why don't you just sit in on it and just wing it? It's just a conversation. It's a
no, because I get really distracted really fast. And then next thing you know, I'm talking about my period, and I don't want
But you know what?
I'm just kidding.
In a conversation about the moon, that might be applicable.
It might actually make sense. I know. That's why I'm like, maybe I want to keep it a little bit more technical. Maybe I want to keep it a little bit more sciencey and less personal. But it's hard to not talk about the moon and relate it to your personal experiences. So there's a whole bunch of things we can talk about. But it's going to be exciting, guys. I'm really happy. I'm really excited. This is just our first one, and hopefully in the future we can make them in person. We can turn these into stargazing events. Yes. All sorts of really cool things. So it's only the beginning. It's only the beginning. So I'm really excited.
Me too.
Yeah. All right. What else did we not talk about? Let's see. I think I covered we talked a lot about the outer planets actually in the last show.
Yeah, we did. We definitely went into it.
Yeah, we did. We went into it. New moon in Cancer directly in opposition with Pluto. And then you've got, some lighter aspects with, Uranus and Saturn and Neptune to this new moon. So it's very transformational. It could be really, really a time to, reflect and, I don't want to say hermit mode, but I mean, maybe you
go inward. Inward.
Maybe you do find that little personal time is necessary to kind of get through whatever it is that's going on in your life, work related, relationship related. Obviously, with Venus, where the nodes of relationships are on people's mind, it's a lot on people's mind right now. A lot of the folks I've been talking to, it's always about their relationships, which is okay. But I mean, it gets to the point where you're giving your power away to that. So, let Pluto kind of guide you. Where is your power? Where do you let it slip? Are you giving it away? Where are your boundaries? These are things that are going to pop up, I think, during this cycle, as this cycle unfolds.
Yeah, it's a good lunar month to figure yourself out. Not necessarily figure other people out. Figure yourself out, and the information about the other people will fall into place.
Yeah.
So lots of meditation. It's always a great time to meditate, Niki.
Oh my God.
But this month for sure.
I'm so bad at this. I'm like, I'm going to get off this call and I'm going to meditate right away. And then I don't. And then I forget. I'm going to go meditate, and then I grab my phone or I grab a book, or I turn the TV on, or I sit with my cat and we snuggle, and then I forget. And I don't know. Sometimes I just fall asleep. I'll go to meditate, and I just fall
that's
asleep,
all right. As long as you fall asleep in a good meditative state, that'll probably help you out. That'll be good.
Well, I kind of fell asleep weird, and I hurt my back a little bit because I'm old now.
That's not what it is.
It'll be okay. It'll be okay. No, sometimes meditation is just, you know, sometimes I'll just get on the floor and do like somatic exercises where I'm just moving around and closing my eyes and just feeling what the energy is inside my body. Just trying to get, for me, I need to be more grounded. I don't ground easy, guys. I'm always here. Always. It's, yeah. I need to tether my feet down to the ground. Try to, you know, just, I can't. I'm not a grounded person. I don't like being grounded, but I know it's a necessary part of being alive. And
definitely grounded in the meditation is good. When you can, and I say detach from reality, I don't mean in like a psychosis way. I mean, like truly remove yourself from space and time. It's friggin' awesome. It's like the greatest thing ever. Ija Levy said, thanks for your insights and everything. I appreciate both of your perspectives. Trish Farrell 78 says, I learned that Cancer was a turtle and there's no being a crab. Yep. Every time I learn another fact that shows how inaccurate tropical astrology is, I just laugh at this point. Heck yeah. And Trish also says, I use subliminal meditations to go to sleep with. Yeah, for sure. Do them. That's what I'm saying.
Well, I read somewhere, and I just saw it. Like the Arabs used a lobster as the for Cancer. How they relate that is that you outgrow your shell. Your shell eventually cracks and it falls off, and you grow a new one. It becomes about becoming stronger and better. So it was something I read a long time ago that I still haven't found anywhere. I don't know where I read it. It was in one of my books here, but I got a library, guys. I don't know where it is, but I'll find it for next week's show.
Yeah, that'll be good.
I'll definitely find it.
We'll still have some Cancer stuff going on for sure.
Yeah. And then like the Egyptians had it was like the scarab beetle. So for everybody, it's been a little different, but it's always like a shelled creature. So this is really cool. I like the turtle better only because, you know, the native tribes in my area, the Oneida tribe, sees the world as sitting on top of a giant turtle. And that's pretty. Cool. I think it's pretty. I love it. So
yeah, that's interesting.
I like the turtle associations.
Yeah, I like turtles. They're messy though. I have a turtle, and he's an eating machine, and he just is like, that's all he does. He swims and eats. But the turtle analogy, so technically the turtle is the most likely representation of that part of the sky. But technically, we don't know for sure. And this is because the Sumerian word that is in the Mulapin it basically translates as either deceptive digger or the Akkadians translate it as pinchers. But their translations, I mean, they're doing this 1,000, 2,000 years later. You know what I mean? Like, this is still based on, they're taking the old astrological information. They're kind of putting their own spin on things.
Yeah.
But, the original pictograms do indicate, like, for those, Alul for deceptive digger does look like a little spade or a little turtle flipper. So these things are not, most scholars, most people in academia, they'll be like, oh, that's just a coincidence. That's not what they mean. Let me give an example, okay? I know we got to go soon, but I do want to put this out there. So, like, the word for, and I don't have it up right now. I would definitely show you guys. But the Sumerian word for the moon, or the name for the moon, is Nana. But it's written with two cuneiform signs that on their own spell Shesh Ki. Shesh means brother. Ki means earth. If you translate it literally, the name, maybe not how they're pronouncing it, but the hidden underlying meaning of Sheshki or Nana means brother of the earth, literally. You can't, it's like so specific, okay? But they're like, no, that's just a coincidence. They, it just happened to be those. They had words. They had other words for na and na that they could have used to render that name, but they specifically chose these words. So somewhere, some way back, they understood that whatever the earth is, the moon is something similar. There's a whole other thing, and this gets me off on the archaics rabbit hole, just how friggin' ridiculous that guy is and all of his theories and his content. But like the word Shar means 3,600, but it represents like the perfect number in their numerical system. They had like a hybrid sexagesimal denary system. And I won't go into it too much right now because it'll bore you right to tears. But basically, the cuneiform symbol is a solid sphere. It's a black sphere, just like the one that you're seeing right on the screen right now, okay? And they use this to write the word horizon, totality, as well as the earth. So this is another indicator that even though we're told, they will tell us, they'll tell you until they're blue in the face that the Sumerians believed that the earth was flat. There's not a shred of evidence that they thought that. And there's a lot of evidence that is contrary to that. So this is why it's so important for people to be able to speak Sumerian and read Sumerian, so that like in other languages, you can go in, like a lot of people speak Hebrew and they can go in and they're like, wait a second, the Bible doesn't actually say what you've been telling me. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's really important that people have access to this information. And unfortunately, the current like grammars, the way that you would learn Sumerian now it's really hard. If you have no foreign language experience, it's really, really tricky. But I'm solving this problem for you guys. The book should be published sometime in 2025. Okay. So it takes, we got to send it to the publisher. It's got to go through editing. It's got to, there's stuff, but it will teach you from start to finish. It will give you every single thing that you need without like way going into the weeds. Cause I realize now that on my lessons on the website, I was definitely going like way too into it. I'm like, no, people don't want to hear they don't need all the little ins and outs right now. So I might do an addendum later on to it, like a little, like more advanced stuff if anybody cares, like if you really want to go all in. But this will give you everything that you need to be able to like decode the real like stuff that is going on, like things that affect every aspect of our culture right now. Like you don't realize how much Mesopotamian law and culture and, magic, mythology, like all this stuff had a huge influence on Western civilization. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to taking your courses, Abby. Sorry if not spelled. You spelled it right. You spelled everything right. Yeah, Trish. Yeah. So yeah, but I'm excited to get that out to you guys. I feel bad for Niki because she's been messaging me during the week and I haven't checked anything. I'm like, I don't know what's going on.
They're just stupid memes. Like yeah, some of them are like voice messages though, and it's usually nothing. It's just like, oh my God, guess I have it. It's like nothing. So.
Oh, okay.
What I find interesting is that each civilization did have a Cancer constellation. It did have some type of
it's very recognizable out there.
Yeah. You know what shocks me though is that there isn't like an elephant out there. Like I love elephants. I've been like obsessed with elephants.
I'm sure some African tribe has one.
Yeah, I've never come across it. And I just think I fell in love with elephants because they remember everything. I was like,
my mom loves elephants too.
I forget everything. Them. Yeah. I was like, I love elephants. So I'm sure maybe if I do a little more digging anyway.
It might be out there for sure.
Yeah. I'll have to research that. But yeah,
about the vapor canopy.
Oh, I didn't read that. No.
Oh, okay. I'm curious to know your opinion of the vapor canopy. I know you guys got to go topic for another time. Yeah, like I actually I could sit and debunk that guy's stuff all day long. I would actually I could dedicate an entire channel to it.
Well, let's talk about it next week. Vapor. Yeah. What is it? Vapor canopy. I got to look that up because
there is I don't know. I have to go in and see specific because his version of stuff is not even it doesn't match up mythologically. He says there was a vapor canopy all over the earth a couple thousand years ago. The geological evidence doesn't even come close to bearing that. No. So I don't know. I have to look into it. Sierra Jolene, Abby's Ancient Astrology course is phenomenal. Highly recommend for anyone looking to take it. Thank you all for all that you do. Abby, Niki. Yeah, Sierra's coming on the show in a couple of weeks, I think. It might be next. I don't know. I have to check the date. I don't know what's going on.
That's so awesome. Yeah,
that'll be fun. Yeah, I love your shade towards archaics. Yeah, it's well deserved, you guys. Well deserved. Okay, because he's out. Everybody watches his stuff, and you don't realize like how terrible it is. Like you don't know.
Trish,
So,
you said something about the moon, like this, if the moon is actually like Earth, but in different stage of development. So I've heard things that the moon is actually just like a dead old planet that was just filled with all sorts of crazy things, and that it's just not full of life anymore.
Sitchin says that the Enuma Elish, the Babylonian record of creation or epic of creation, is basically like it talks about the moon being the severed head of this other planet, and it got cut off, and it basically got pulled into our orbit. Now, see, that's the thing with Sitchin. Like his ideas about the planetary motion, like he's not making that up. Like they really talk about that stuff. So that's why it's hard, because some of the things he says are accurate when the rest of it is like totally out there. And it's hard because he doesn't cite his sources. He doesn't tell you which, where it comes from. So it's hard. Like you can't debunk it very well. It's really tricky. So
yeah,
but yeah.
Interesting.
Yes. All right. Well, you know what? Let's do it. Let's debunk archaics next week. I'll prep for it. Unless Sierra's on next week. Then we won't do it. I'll have to check. I don't know which day she's coming on. So, but we will be back next week, same time, same place.
Yeah.
Like, share, subscribe, all of the things. And we are sending you all much love and happy new moon. Hope this month brings you all of the most wonderful things in life that you've ever wanted. So we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye, guys.